If you've been seeing all these videos about short workouts, walking for fat loss, and you only need 20 minutes a day, and you've tried them, but you're still not in shape, well, there's a reason for that. I've worked with a lot of business professionals over 40, people making good money, running businesses, managing careers, and a lot of them have tried some version of this. Short workouts, walking more, trying to simplify things, but they still struggle with consistency. And usually it comes down to the same three mistakes. But the good news is that these are fixable, and helping you understand them better is what I'm going to do in this video. And so none of this is theory. It's based on my experience as a personal trainer working with folks over 40 who are high performing and don't have a lot of time to spend in the gym. So problem number one is you're doing random short workouts. Short workouts are trending right now, but here's the problem. Most people are doing them randomly. One day is a YouTube workout, the next day is walking, then nothing for 3 days. That's not a system. That's just activity. And although activity is good, it's better than nothing. Activity alone is not going to get the results you want. Problem number two is that you're missing progression. This is where most people fail. They think if I move more, they'll get in shape. Well, our bodies don't work that way. We need something called progressive overload in order to get better as the program progresses. We need to progressively increase our intensity, we need to improve our consistency, and we need to follow a structured plan. Problem three, no accountability. This is the biggest one, because if you're tired, overwhelmed, and busy, chances are your willpower will diminish with time. And if you have no one to answer to, if you don't have anybody that you're accountable to, chances are your frequency, how often you train per week, well, the number is going to drop. And it's going to drop to the point where results are going to be almost none. When that happens, you're going to be thinking, wow, I'm investing all this time into this training protocol and I'm seeing nothing. Let me just quit. This is the trap that most people fall into. And I don't want that to happen to you. So you don't have to hire us. You don't have to hire me. But have somebody that you're accountable to. It could be a neighbor. It could be a partner. It could be a certified personal trainer near your area, or one of us who can train you online. But in any case, have somebody you're accountable to. I cannot express how important this is, because you are not going to be as consistent when you have somebody that is waiting for you, right? If you have a neighbor that's waiting to go walk with you, chances are you're going to show up for the walk. Or if you have a training appointment, chances are you're going to show up to the training appointment, even though you don't want to. So accountability is the number one thing that can keep you in track. So don't fall into this trap. So now that we saw the three reasons why these programs can fail, let's look at the ways that we can make them succeed. First, we create structured short workouts. They have to be between 20 and 30 minutes. They have to be pre-planned. So you don't want to spend 20 minutes looking through your phone trying to figure out what you're going to do. And they have to fit your schedule. And what I mean by fitting your schedule is that, let's say you schedule 30 minutes in the morning because that's better for you. Your mind is fresh, you're fresh, you want to get the 30 minutes in the morning done. If that doesn't work for you, it can be lunch hour or it can be a night. Whatever works better for your schedule, that's when you should train. And in addition to that, I want you to be very honest and religious about it when it comes to maintaining those appointments with yourself. You have to build the appointments to your business day, but you also have to prioritize the appointment. Otherwise, it'll be very easy for you to cancel on yourself or cancel on your trainer. Step two is to build in progression into your plan. Now, we need a plan, but we also need to introduce progression into this plan. And what that looks like is measuring every week or every workout how you are either increasing your intensity, increasing your duration, or a combination of both, right? So what does that look like? Let's say for week number one, you're going to start walking. Most people can walk. Well, on week 2 and 3, you could start adding interval training to your walking, right? You can have a structured walking kind of situation where you're walking for 5 minutes, and then in the next 5 minutes, you are walking as fast as you can. So right before you start running, and then you go back to walking normal speed again after the 5 minutes of high intensity. So what is that doing? That's a progression to the workout routine that you started off with. So the reality of the thing that happens is that if you don't have progression, you are still going to be burning calories. You're still going to be getting some benefit, but it may not be as much benefit as you could be getting if you're adding progressive overload to your training routine. And one of the things that happens, and again, is another trap that people can fall into, and I don't want that to happen to you, is that you can start plateauing very soon if you're not adding more resistance, more speed, or more difficulty to your workouts. You know, again, unfortunately, this is where most people quit because they're putting in the time, but they're not necessarily getting the results that they want. The last step is out on accountability layer because life comes at you fast, and sometimes things can get unpredictable and crazy, especially if you are a high-performing business person or a career individual. You know, things just happen. And having somebody waiting for you, whether it is your online personal trainer or a local trainer or a friend or a neighbor, it makes you very accountable to showing up for that training session. You don't want to let the other person down. That alone could be the difference between you being successful and not being successful. And here's a little secret about this too, by the way. This is a lot more fun if you are training with someone else, whether it's, again, a trainer or a friend, because, you know, you do create a little bit of a bond, but you also see the results of the other person, and you know, you can push each other and really go a lot further together than alone. And because alone, sometimes you end up quitting, and that's no good. And speaking of accountability, the best way for you to keep yourself accountable is to know where you're starting from. That's why we created an assessment that you can take that is totally free, where you can answer these questions, actually work out. This is super cool because you can actually do the exercises and get your fitness score so that your trainer can know exactly where you're starting from and you can know exactly where you're starting from. It's absolutely free to take this assessment. And on top of that, you get a $100 credit towards any online personal training programs that Sculpt offers. So go do that now. And if you don't want to do that, the thing you should do is to watch this video next, because I talk about some very interesting things there that I think you will like.